Saint Clare. I had Saint Clare's relic by me and I saw her life. Her pious mother, when devoutly praying before the Blessed Sacrament for a happy delivery, was interiorly warned that she would give birth to a daughter brighter than the sun. Hence, the child was named Clare. Before the event, the mother went on a pilgrimage to Rome, Jerusalem, and the other holy places. The parents were noble and very pious. From her earliest infancy, Clare was wonderfully attracted by whatever was holy. If she were taken into a church, she stretched out her tiny hands to the Blessed Sacrament. But other objects, no matter how highly colored, such as pictures, etc., made no impression upon her. I saw the mother teaching the child to pray and the little one zealously practicing self-renunciation. The devotion of the Rosary must have been in use at the time, for I saw Clare's parents reciting every evening with their whole household a certain number of Our Fathers and Hail Marys. I also saw the child seeking little smooth stones of various sizes which she carried around her in a leathern pouch with 2 pockets into which she dropped the stones alternately as she prayed. Sometimes she laid them in a row or circle as she prayed, and she always observed the certain number in her meditation or contemplation. Did she fear having prayed inattentively, she imposed a penance on herself. She wove very beautiful little crosses out of straw. She was about 6 years old when I saw her in the yard in which the servants were slaughtering hogs. She took the bristles, cut them small, and put them around her neck, thus occasioning herself great suffering. Later on, her extraordinary piety began to be noised abroad, and Saint Francis, divinely inspired, came to visit her parents. Clare was called to see him and was deeply impressed by the earnest words the saint spoke to her. After this, a youth sued for Clare's hand. Her parents did not flatly discourage him, although they had not yet consulted their child. But she, interiorly warned of what was pending, ran to her chamber and, kneeling before her oratory, vowed her virginity to God, which vow she solemnly made known when her parents introduced her suitor. They were truly amazed. But they ceased to urge her. She now engaged in all kinds of good works, exercising great charity toward the poor, to whom she gave her own meals whenever she could abstain from them unnoticed. I saw her visiting Francis at Portiuncula and becoming more and more firm in her determination to serve God alone. On Palm Sunday she went to church in her best attire. She remained standing in the lower part of the church whilst the bishop distributed the palms at the altar. Suddenly, he saw a beam of light shining over her head. He went down himself to where she stood and gave her a branch. Then I saw the light spreading over many others around her. I saw her leave her parents' house by night for the church of Portiuncula, where Francis and his brethren received her with lighted candles, chanting the Veni Creator. I saw her in the church, receiving a penitential habit and cutting off her hair, after which Francis took her to a convent in the city. She already wore a horsehair girdle with 30 knots, which she now changed for one of boar skin, the bristles turned next to her person. I saw a nun in her convent who had conceived bitter hatred for her and who would not be reconciled to her. This religious had been sick for some time when Clare lay on her deathbed. The dying saint sent to be reconciled to the sister, but the latter refused. Then Clare prayed fervently and bade some of the nuns bring the sick sister to her. They went to her, raised her up, and lo! She was cured. She was so deeply affected by this that she hastened to Clare and begged her pardon. The saint responded by begging hers in return. I saw the Mother of God present at her death with a troop of holy virgins. Amen.